Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we're going to take a look at how to create Superman. It's a question that comes back from time to time. Even though I made various Superman videos in the past, that question always comes back. So let's try and answer it once more. I will not show every variations on how to create Superman. As I mentioned, I do have a handful of videos like how to get the Superman emblem and how to pretty much make up Superman. So I will refer you to those videos if you need alternate versions of the Superman emblem, assuming you don't have the actual Superman emblem. The first thing you need is the Rockford hair. It's about the closest thing we have to the Superman hair. Although there's no hairstyle where you have the curly S that Superman had for quite a long time. Although sadly that seems to be gone from the comics nowadays. Obviously there's no headpiece and no face piece. For accessories, I don't think there's an aura that really fits with Superman, but I would probably have to try it out. For the emblem, obviously, the Superman emblem from BVS is the option you need. Of course, you can go for either the S emblem or the Shield emblem, but obviously the Superman emblem is the better option. If you really want to have a Superman emblem, again, I made a handful of Superman emblem videos. I would refer you to one of those. I will probably put a link to at least one of those videos at the end of this video, so keep an eye open for that. And for the rest of the style, obviously, again, there's no end pieces. For the belt, I went with the Stalwart Defender belt. There's the steel suit that looks nothing like Superman, but I kind of like it because there's a little Superman emblem on it. Oh, the Techno Belt is what I was looking for. The Techno Belt is technically a bit closer to the actual Superman belt than the Stalwart Defender, but Stalwart Defender is an actual official Superman belt, and it has almost the Superman shape emblem on it, so I usually go with that. And the chest, of course, you need the Stalwart Defender chest. Technically, there's only one real way to get that chest. It's from the broker. As a rule of thumb, I would suggest go to the broker as often as you can. Sometimes the chest will be a bit expensive. I've seen it go as high as 10 millions at some point. But as a rule of thumb, if you go to the broker often enough, at some point you will see a version of you will see the Stalwart Defender chest for 2 millions or less. Whenever I go to the broker and I see the Stalwart Defender chest for less than 2 millions, I buy it right away. I still have a handful of characters that need that chest, so that's basically why. Even though I have it with this character, I have other characters that kind of needs it. For the pants, New Genesis pants. I'm the kind of guy who will want to wear the underwear on the outside, unlike a lot of people who sadly kind of don't seem to like that. I guess if you really are against the underwear, you could go with the Stalwart Defender pants. So that would be basically with you can pretty much recreate the new 52 Superman this way by using pretty much the entire Stalwart Defender set of gear. But personally, I prefer to create the more classic version of the character. And for the boots, I go with the Tall Classic. The Tall Classic are basically Superman's boots. They're as accurate as you can get in this universe online. Unless you go with the Stalwart Defender boots and decide to recreate the new 52 Superman. And for the cape, you have a couple of options. There's the steel suit MK1 that I'm actually using, but there is also where is it? Oh, I don't have it. Oh, I'm so sad now. There's another cape that you can get, which is the House of L cape. The House of L cape is sold by Power Girl in the Meta Wing. It's a tier 2 set of gear, and the steel suit MK1 is sold by obviously Steel in the Tech Wing. It's a tier 1 set of gear, but if you wait until you're tier 3, you can purchase the very same style from the style vendor in the Watchtower. It will cost you 10 marks of victory as opposed to 30 something from Steel or Power Girl. So if you want to save a few marks of victory, wait until you're tier 3 and go see the style vendor. If you don't care and want it, want to have it right away, then go see your friend Steele and buy it for about 35 marks of victory around that time, around that amount, I think. So that's how you can recreate a pretty good approximation of Superman. Ideally, I wish we had a slimline chest piece that would have a big emblem like the Stalwart Defender has. Sadly, it's not an option at this point. Another suit that I kind of use sometimes, a chest piece that I'll use is the Scuba chest piece, but that one is only available during summer seasonal, so the summer seasonal is behind us, so there's little point to mention it at this point, unless you already have it. Now let's take a look at the powers you need to recreate the Man of Steel. Obviously, for your weapon, you're going to want to go with Brawling. That's basically what Superman is using. For flight, there's a few powers that I go for. Supersonic, obviously, to go a bit faster. There's the Whirlwind attack that I use. There's the Swoop attack. Sometimes there's Air Burst, depending on circumstances. And for the supercharge, there's the stuff that you could use if you want to. It's a shield ability that also allows you to run away if you need to. Or get away, I should say. And of course, the various stuns, the various resistance, like stun resistant, restraint resistance, restraint recovery, and all that, breakout mastery, I would suggest you take those. And the iconic powers, there's no real Kryptonian powers in this universe online. All you can really do is kind of approximate those powers. And the way to do that is that you go to the iconic powers, and you can purchase Heat Vision, Freeze Breath, and Super Strength. Super Strength is not really useful in the game per se, but it's nice enough to have in certain circumstances. Even though it's not very powerful, I usually go for that. So if you look at the loadout that I am using, so again, basically I'm using Whirlwind Attack, Freeze Breath, Dust Off, Swoop Attack, Air Burst, and Heat Vision. That's pretty much how I recreate a Kryptonian character. I would be tempted sometimes to go with maybe a supercharge that would allow me to get some sort of healing back. So I would replace, maybe I would replace Dust Off with Reignition or some such ability. So let's go fight some evil lanterns, and let's show you how those powers actually work. I made a few videos about the movement powers, and I was using the combat dummies for a bit to show off what those powers were doing. Sadly, the combat dummies, not a very good representation of what those powers actually did. So let's start with my favorite power of the lot, Heat Vision. For a long time, Heat Vision wasn't really viable. Like, you could use it, but it's something I would use only when I was playing solo. Because in a group, I would have been kicked from the group because it wasn't very powerful for a long time. Now it seems to be viable, although I didn't try it in endgame missions. So maybe in endgame it's not as viable as I think it is. I'm gonna have to test it out at some point. And of course, there's Swoop Attack that I love, which allows you to ram into an enemy. And if an enemy tries to escape from you, it allows you to catch up with them. Of course, that energy bubble is because I have a mod in my weapon that essentially once in a while will create a force field that will protect my character. So you can see the vortex, I always forget the name. Oh, it's the Whirlwind Attack. It works well enough to not just to damage enemies, but to keep them out of balance. And there's a freeze breath. That's not bad either. So why would you want to have, let's say, heat vision and freeze breath, other than if you want to recreate a Kryptonian? The cooldown can be a bit long on each, so you could go and use heat vision, and then while the heat vision is on cooldown, go on and use freeze breath, and alternate between the two like that. Of course, being Superman, you can just go and use melee. The only thing I don't like about super attack is, as you can see, the way the camera shakes, it can be a bit annoying sometimes. But that's the biggest drawback. And there's air burst that they can't knock me down. Usually you can use it to sometimes break out from certain abilities, or if you get knocked down, you can use it to get back up. And as you saw, it projects your enemies in the air. It has a pretty long cooldown though, so you're going to be able to use air burst once in a while, and the rest of the time you're gonna have to pretty much break out using the R1, the R button. And for the supercharge, let's try and give it a try. So if you get stuck into a whole bunch of evil enemies and you're pretty much stuck, or you need just a shield to protect you, that stuff works well enough. It works either to give you some sort of protection, or just to allow you to just go away, fly away. So that's pretty much it to recreate our friend Superman. And of course, you can use the big Kryptonian ball if you want to. It's just a fun item. It's not powerful at all. Let's go and try it out on one of our lantern enemies. So as you saw, it barely did anything. So it's a fun item that could be fun to use, but that's really not a good idea to actually use. If you want a real useful item, I would go with anything but that, like a useful trinket, I mean. So I guess again, as a recap, the Rock 4 hair for the character. The Stalwart Defender chest, buy it from the broker for a handful of dollars, for a couple of millions at most. You can hope to get it from Prometheum lockboxes, but there's so many items in the Prometheum lockboxes that the odds of getting the Stalwart Defender chest from that are so slim, you're going to be really, really lucky if you get it from there. Again, the same with the Stalwart Defender belt, buy it from the broker. Any Stalwart Defender chest, any Stalwart Defender pieces of gear you want to use, buy it from the broker. That's the better option to get them. Of course, the pants, the new Genesis pants, you can get them from straight from character creation. The same with the tall boots. The cape, again, you can get it either from Steel, from Power Girl in the Watchtower, or the style vendor in the Watchtower. Again, the style vendor will sell it to you for 10 marks of victory, but you're gonna have to wait until you're tier 3 before you can actually purchase it. And of course, the Superman emblem. Sadly, that version of the emblem, if you don't have it now, then sadly you'll never have it. I suspect that at some point in time they will add a new Superman emblem to some sort of time capsule. Uh, Basically, they've done that already with Wonder Woman. They didn't add it to a time capsule, but what they did is that they gave us the Wonder Woman emblem when there was the 75th anniversary for Wonder Woman, or there was like the Summer of Wonders, where they actually gave us the Wonder Woman emblem, or a new version of the Wonder Woman emblem that was pretty faithful to the classic emblem that she had in the comics for a long time. As opposed to the version we had previously was the version from the Batman v Superman movie. That one again, we're not going to see again, I'm pretty sure. But since they gave us a new version of the Wonder Woman emblem, I'm pretty confident that sooner or later they will give us a new version of the Superman emblem and a new version of the Batman emblem. Already there are a few alternatives that you can use in the game. Again, I made a video about that, but I will put a link to the video at the end. Like basically the annotation at the end, one of them will be for the Superman emblem. But this is pretty much the better option for the Superman emblem. And sadly, it's not available in the game right now. But again, I'm pretty confident that sooner or later we will get a new Superman emblem and some sort of time capsule. So we're just gonna have to be patient. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. If you liked the video, click the like button or the shared button, or even better, subscribe. And also there's that little bell that you can click that will warn you whenever there's a new video. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.